Ja, es war ein langer Krieg. Es war ein harter Krieg. Ihr habt tapfer und stolz für euer Vaterland gekämpft. Seid eine besondere Truppe, die ineinander...
Hey everyone, this is Hydra Hut, and this is Deadman number 5 of 6. Find Ra's al Ghul. So, of course, this is by Neal Adams. I think I've done just about every one. Maybe I skipped 2 and 3. I don't know. Pretty been covering these pretty steady though. DNC mocks the hell out of it. He thinks Neal Adams has lost his fucking mind. I personally thoroughly enjoy the chaos in this. And I think it all kind of, the farther you go into it, the more it starts making sense. You start to realize that Boston Brand, which is Deadman, he was kind of acting like a jackass a little bit because he is kind of a jackass, and also because he wanted everybody to really not suspect that he knew as much as he knew, so that he could trick all of them into giving him the answers he's trying to find. Which kind of surprised me. I legit thought Neal Adams was just going crazy, and I was okay with that. So, since he's doing the art, the writing, everything, you can be sure that the cover has something to do with the interior, which is nice. That's how a comic should be. It's your open fucking paragraph. Let's jump right in. So, the opening pages are always really cool. He always hides Deadman in there in some way, shape, or form. Written, drawn, and colored by his signature, and then we get our other stuff. So, basically where we left off on the last one, these big golden guys were basically used to bully Deadman into doing what they'd been wanting him to do for a long time. And they dump him off here in front of this big samurai fellow here, or this big Mongolian here. And him and Boston have some sort of past history. His name's Taj Z, or Taj Z. I love the way Deadman talks. How the Billy Hill did I get here, you Brobding... Oh, man. Brobdingnagian samurai? Man, I don't know what that word is. What you doing, Neil? Anyway, he's apparently a samurai. He looks Mongolian, dresses Mongolian, but he's a samurai. He's essentially got dropped off in a different period of time. And while he's here trying to figure out what's going on with Raj Z, Fate shows up. Fate is an interesting character. The way he talks is kind of unique. It's all very kind of rhymey and prophetic sounding. And Deadman basically tries and trolls him every time he says something, which is funny. I thoroughly enjoy their banter back and forth. And Deadman absolutely hates it, which is enjoyable. Zatanna and Etrigan also show up. Deadman's not stoked to see these people. He's getting a little bit tired of all these people getting in his way. And Taj Z is just trying to get Deadman to Nanda Parbat, which Deadman mentions that he's already seen her. Taj Z says, no, you haven't. And you're only ever going to see her once. Which, leads us to wonder if in the other books, if that was really Nanda Parbat we saw. She was the very attractive lady in purple. So as the boys are trying to make their way to this zone, they end up having to fight their way there because there is an army that is made up of Yetis, zombies, armorers, which we find out what those are. At the moment we don't know, and various other things. They specifically point out that the zombies don't have souls, as well as the robots down there, which is going to screw with Deadman, because what he does is he jumps into your body, takes the place of your soul, controls your body for a little bit, and then pops out. It's also going to neutralize the Spectre of Vengeance. He relies on souls for attacking, or at least they suggest he does, even though he's got a big-ass sword. And check out this spread shot. This is the army that they're going to go down and fight. These guys are actually the armorers. I guess there's some sort of orc. But check out these guns. This is sweet. Sorry I'm so quiet. I'm just trying to get all that picture in there. So they go ahead and Zatanna is looking pretty swank. So more awesome banter back and forth between Taji and Deadman, but basically they're just trying to get to the area where Nanda Parbat is, so that they can continue on with Deadman's quest. This is a great shot of Zatanna, I think. I like her oversized boots, her thigh gap. I think it's a solid picture. We also get a lot of... they give us a good idea on what everybody's power level is in reference to everybody else. Like this Taj Z guy, I've never heard of him before. I don't know what he is, but he's apparently a pretty badass samurai. We get to watch Etrigan straight up ripping the heads off of creatures and giggling because they're not real, and he doesn't have to feel guilty about taking life, which is like, look. I could get used to this. It's fun. Robot deaths hurts no one. Ha! Send more. It's great. I love it. Etrigan's fantastic in this. The Spirit of Vengeance, not quite his normal badass self, as the soulless creatures kind of make it a little bit difficult for him to fight. Deadman manages to figure out some way that he can kind of jump in and out of bodies. I don't know if he's just like bouncing off and that stagger of not being able to take them over prevents anything from happening, or if he actually figured out how to take over an inanimate object. They don't really specify. It's just kind of like suggested that we should know. The fight goes on for quite a while, and actually it's a lot closer than you would expect, but they eventually managed to hold back the army, and man, this takes quite some time. Man, I forgot how long this fight was. It's been a couple days since I read this. Basically, during this whole fight, we're getting a lot of story that's clearing up some gaps from the previous books, and also telling us really what Deadman's plans kind of are and why everybody else is there and around. Plus, it's kind of nice seeing Zatanna show up and actually do something instead of just looking pretty in a corner like she did in the last couple books. So after fighting for quite some time, they do manage to finally fall back into the gates of Nanda Parbat, and I don't know why they didn't just do this before, or if they just kind of figured it out, but they basically like run into the area, and then all these bad guys follow them and are just suddenly at peace with themselves. They lose all interest in fighting, and they basically just want to hang out and be cool with everybody. But there are some people that it does not affect. One such person that is not affected is Deadman, and he doesn't understand why everybody else is so well affected. And that's when Taji says, well, this is for people with souls. And Deadman's like, wait, so I don't have a freaking soul? Taji's like, it's complicated. It's complicated. So, while Deadman is having this existential crisis about being a soulless soul sucker, basically, we suddenly flash over to Etrigan, who is freaking the f*** out. You don't put a demon at peace with himself. The Spirit of Vengeance, who is also completely unbothered by being here, he manages to semi-shield Etrigan from the presence of this place, using his cloak and his body. One very interesting thing that I like is this Etrigan, specifically this scene of him. You notice all the other ones where he shows up, he's very much demonic, smooth-skinned, primal. But when he is suddenly at peace with himself, which is like the worst thing you can do to a demon, he looks haggard and worn and drugged down. And I thought that was cool. Of course, Neal's going to do that because Neal's a master. But then this is basically where it leaves us. Spectre of Vengeance has no soul. Deadman may or may not have a soul, and Etrigan is in some deep shit because he's he's basically being forced to be at peace with himself, and you can't do that when you're essentially half demon. So I really like this one. I'd say it probably had the most action out of all the books so far. It was far less chaotic, and it was really good. I still like Deadman. I don't care what DNC says. I think you guys should buy this. I don't know if they're going to be doing it into a trade paperback. I would hope so. I would assume so. But, you know, who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. Hail Hydra, baby.